I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this shit. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault.
Oh, God. Big Meech finally got his head out of the clouds thinking he was about to make this legendary comeback, but instead, he walked straight into a complete disaster. And guess who might be the one to blame? Rick Ross. I'm shook because Ross acted like he had Meech's back this whole time, throwing cash around, hyping up this major return, but when it actually mattered, that so-called support completely vanished. Meech was left scrambling. His big comeback concert canceled, his $1 million deal with 50 gone. And Ross, he's just back to serving himself like nothing happened.
Already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
It's safe to say Meech's situation has gone from bad to worse. Now fans are wondering, did Ross set him up for failure? And can Meech possibly bounce back from this devastating blow? Let's break it all down because this tea is scalding hot.
I said Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew what that was going to bring.
That's selfish.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew exactly what he was doing. So selfish. Big Meech finally stepped out of prison, probably thinking he'd slide right back into the game like he never left. But reality check. The streets had changed dramatically, and he was about to learn that the hard way. One of his first big moves was linking up with Rick Ross, who wasted no time flashing stacks in his face. And if you're wondering why a kingpin like Meech would be tempted by pocket change when he once ran a multi-million-dollar empire and even had that BMF deal with 50 Cent? Well, turns out he blew through all that money, every last cent.
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has this song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover, and that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent. And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross, but if 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture, it was an event. I doubt it was $1 million. I doubt it was 500,000. I doubt it was 200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross, and he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
So he was so desperate for a fresh start that he was ready to turn his back on 50 for a shot with Ross. I can't even. Big Meech was so desperate for cash, he was even expecting Lil Meech to show up at his house with wads of green. But guess what? Lil Meech was in the exact same shoes as his dad, broke.
But when we go to your crib and me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in the Ferrari truck, he had the Ferrari truck, he had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this like, yo, this tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing. I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Cause obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind. Cause he said it to me and Murder and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn. This nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home, but I understand how it is to be a young black man with money, and you don't make the right decisions.
With money drying up faster than my patience, the Meech household was in serious trouble. But Rick Ross, he took one look at that situation and saw a golden opportunity for himself. He claimed he could help Meech get back on his feet. In fact, when 50 Cent was declaring all-out war on Big Meech, Ross was acting all tough and talking a big game.
Where your car at? Now where your yacht at? Where your plane at? Where your fish at? Life could sometimes be like real estate, baby. You might have to knock everything down, build it back up, and get it to the value you need it to be. Took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
What business is business. Yeah, like business is business. A part of me understands a part of that. I do understand that.
Well, they always say there's no permanent friends and enemies in business, just permanent interests.
Yeah, so. Because this is the thing. I understand that 50 got, the ongoing beef with the people and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But it seems like their transaction is just business.
But none of that worked out. See, part one of the Big Meech rehabilitation program was hooking him up with tons of money. Ross thought the fastest way to do that was to host this massive benefit concert for him produced by EXO Touring and AG Touring. The event promised a huge lineup of artists to welcome back Big Meech. And let me tell you, Ross pulled out all the stops to promote this concert.
February 13th, the Big Meech Home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rozay now.
But Big Meech was about to face the biggest disappointment of his life. Hours before the concert, you guys, the Amarn Bank Arena made this soul-crushing announcement. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at the point of purchase. So Big Meech's concert was canceled just like that. Poof! Gone! Most people thought 50 had something to do with it since there was talk about him getting Big Meech and Rick Ross blackballed from the industry. Wack 100 was absolutely convinced that was the case.
Y'all don't remember when they asked me, Wack, what you think about the concert? I said, I think it's too early for dude to even be playing with anything. You need to just kick back. I said it's too early. You don't need to be doing nothing. You eliminate that, ain't none of it on in his life right now. It's too early. I said it. When they said, yo, I said, yeah, too early. For him to be doing any of that, he need to just lay back, focus on TV, get his business right with 50. He don't need to be for none of that shit. I said, but I understand why he doing it, because he's infatuated with that rap. He always wanted to do it. He was never successful at doing it. If you eliminate him doing this, there's no him standing with Rick Ross. There's no 50 tripping. None of it. There's no exposing coming. None of this happened.
Meanwhile, 50 wasn't about to give Meech even an inch of breathing room. He posted a picture of the news about the cancellation with the caption, "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." He also posted a video from user Zip with the Drip on his IG who talked about Lil Baby and others canceling the gig.
Yo, man, I'm hearing already some people is pulling out of that concert. Yeah, on February 13th, that Big Meech was having. You heard? I know Little Baby ain't performing, right? Yeah, he said he ain't f***ing with Gunna no more because Gunna a rat. I know he ain't performing that Big Meech. Yeah, 50 on the internet calling this a rat. Talking about Tammy Cowan. That shit didn't grew some legs. Yeah, from when we was on the internet a few months ago talking about, yo, how Cuffy get indicted, how the Migo get indicted, and Meech ain't get indicted, blah, blah, blah. Shit then grew some legs since then. Yeah, because if Tammy then told 50 and... Yo, 50, let me narrate this shit, B. Let me narrate this. Let's get to that. Yeah, New York, nigga, let's get to that. Yeah, who's going to this concert? I said I want to. Who's going to this concert still? Yeah. What's really going on out here? Let's get to that.
Meanwhile, 50 wrote this in the caption. The funny stuff is they was saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them nothing. Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted. WTF he owe you? Tammy Cowan coming soon.
Biggest boss Ricky Rozay just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 3:05 is going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
And honestly, fans thought that was incredibly inconsiderate of him since he's the one who started this entire mess in the first place. If he didn't step in and ruin Meech's relationship with 50, Meech wouldn't have needed to do the concert at all. He could have just lived off the millions that 50 was putting on his table.
I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault, so I'ma do it. Yo, Rick Ross, this is your fault. You the reason why Big Meech is going through this here right now, you heard? Because when we was on the internet talking about the Cuffy case and all that, nobody even really gave a But now 50 talking about that, and everybody listening. Everybody listening, you heard? So, I just want to say, or I want to ask you, did you think that shit was a good idea in hindsight? Do you think it was a good idea to be in the video with me talking about Sexy Red?
Sexy Red.
Yeah, you think that was a good idea? Also, how you let that get the show canceled in Florida, B? That's kind of diabolical, you heard? 50, that's some bull. How you let that get the show canceled in Florida? Let's get to that.
And honestly, it's not like Meech was caught by surprise. Everyone on the internet could see that Ross wasn't being a true friend to him, so it's hard to feel sorry for him. In fact, Whack 100 pointed it out clear as day.
I said Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew what that was going to bring.
That's selfish.
That was a selfish act.
That was selfish. He was trying to show he could control Big Meech to 50. In turn, Big Meech.
Now, what you doing? What you doing now? Now the after party y'all had at the office, that's canceled. 50 telling everybody to go to booby trap. Office didn't cancel. Looking crazy, so that Meech is sitting back saying, I ain't even asked you to come. I didn't even realize it. Now I'm in there, and I didn't. My TV movie should get exposed and reputation, and then son off too. Crazy.
Horrible move, man. I don't know how you come back from this one.
And no, Big Meech can't go crawling back to 50 right now because 50 made it crystal clear that he has no plans of making a season 4 for the BMF series. In a since-deleted Instagram post, the rapper shared some heartbreaking text messages from Lil Meech showing him confronting 50 about his recent attacks on his father. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skillababy with Rock when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take my shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. Lil Meech also addressed Big Meech's link up with Ross and claimed it was simply because of money. Screw Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. But 50 couldn't care less. Here's what he had to say to Lil Meech's desperate text. What next season, little ninja? Honestly, 50 is the last person Lil Meech should be expecting sympathy from. That man even poked fun at Meech's financial situation. He shared a GoFundMe page on Instagram with the caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb." That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to Quality Control.
Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech, unless he was looking to get 50 out the way, he would have dealt with Meech in the shadows because he knows me and this dude who is going to react if he sees me dealing with this dude that he has business with. And there was a lot of business left to be done, right? Rick Ross, bro, could have done whatever he was going to do in the shadows if he really honored and respected Meech.
But safe to say, Big Meech is drowning big time. Ross offered some hope. He wrote this on his IG stories. "I want to do a real BMF movie, theaters only. Which director? Anthony Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino?" And it seemed like he was pretty serious about it since he mentioned it in a clip as well. Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. But fans don't have a lot of hope for the dude who couldn't even pull off a concert. And the worst part? Big Meech is not the only one that got played. He screwed his entire family in the process. 50 also gave Big Meech's entire family executive producer credits, so the whole family was getting paid off the BMF show. But what do you think? Will Big Meech be able to come back from this devastating blow? And is he going to make Ross pay for putting him out on the streets? Let us know what you think in the comment section below and make sure to check out this next video.